So our portfolio is still large. That's a challenge in and of itself. I wouldn't recommend that to anyone.
Welcome to the E-Comm Show podcast. I am your host, Andrew Maff, owner and founder of BlueTuskr. From groundbreaking industry updates to success stories and strategies, get to know the ins and outs of the e-commerce industry from top leaders in the space. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the E-Comm Show. As usual, I'm your host, Andrew Maff, and today I am joined by the amazing Amy Upchurch, who is the founder and CEO over at Pink Stork. Amy, how you doing? You ready for a good show?
Hi. Thanks so much for having me on your show.
Yeah, I appreciate you joining us. Super excited to have you on the show. Obviously, you have an amazing background. You've built an amazing business. There's a lot of stuff for us to get through, and we're going to do what we can to try and get through all. But I always like starting these off pretty stereotypically, so I'd like to give you the floor and just tell us a little bit about your past, how you got started with Pink Stork, where it's at now, and we'll kind of take it from there.
Okay, great. Yes. So I started off actually from my own personal experience, kind of solving a problem that I was having. So with my first 4 pregnancies, I really struggled. I had something called hyperemesis gravidarum, which I explain to people as like morning sickness on steroids. I was throwing up multiple times a day, in and out of the hospital. Long story short, was just not very good at being pregnant. And through that experience, I was with my 4th one, I was kind of out of desperation, just said, hey, I want to try something completely different. I've gone the medical route and just started looking at natural options for my body. So really focusing on my gut health, vitamins, minerals that I was putting in my body, and had an amazing experience, and really saw that there was a white space for a brand to come in and really support women. At the time, there wasn't a brand specifically focused on women's wellness, and that's what I wanted to do without any background whatsoever. I was going to do it, and I was going to start right where I was, which was a military base in Washington, D.C., without any kind of background in business. I went to school for communications, so not really knowing anything. Google was my best friend.
Love it.
Yeah.
So tell me about like the product line and kind of how you got to where you're at today.
Right. So we started actually with 9 products, which I wouldn't recommend. That's a lot of products to get started with. We have now over 170 different products. So our portfolio is still large. That's a challenge in and of itself. I wouldn't recommend that to anyone. But we started kind of with these core supplements and vitamins that I was originally taking with my pregnancy. That was so just like that aha experience. And from there, it was really a niche space. We were really focusing on morning sickness. So women who were experiencing morning sickness. And over time, we grew with our customer base into now we do every area of women's wellness, from PMS up to menopause. So, but we started off in a very niche space of the morning sickness ailments and challenges.
And so now you're into how many? You said 100 and what?
Like 170 SKUs right now. We're getting ready to launch. Yeah, we typically always try to launch new SKUs. We do about 3 or 4 a quarter. At the same time, we're always reviewing our portfolio to see, what SKUs are not worth keeping in our portfolio reviews. But we're always testing the market to see what resonates with women.
Yeah. So you've built a pretty impressive business well into 8 figures. That is very, very difficult to do for a lot of e-commerce brands. What do you attest that to? Is that from, I know there's a big community building aspect. I know you have your own following through a lot of social media channels. What was it that kind of helped you get through those initial phases to where you're at now?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I feel like the mission of the company is to be able to help women all around the world. And so we've done things a little untraditionally that might not have made sense, because scaling is, people would say, well, that's not the way you're going to be able to scale a business. So I would say what has really helped us has been like that core following, the fact that we have a lot of raving fans of our brands. we come into a time of a woman's life typically where she's going through a transitions phase. So she might be trying to conceive, or she might be going through like a postpartum journey, kind of these very vulnerable stages of a woman's life. And we garnish a lot of trust with her. And that's something we don't take lightly. So when we do things as a brand, it's might not make sense from a business point of view, but we do it from they're trusting us with some of their most challenging, intimate, vulnerable phases of their life. So we owe it to them to, go above and beyond what the norm is for businesses. So we'll send flowers, we will write handwritten cards, we
Wow.
respond to any and every message that comes across on our social media platforms. We have a tight knit community group with, right now I think there's like 5,000 members in our raving fans group. We have brand ambassadors that we're very generous with. So I think that's what really has allowed us to grow from just that niche. How many percentage of women are pregnant dealing with morning sickness to now women in all phases of life, is because we really pay attention to her and try to go above and beyond anticipating her needs and making her feel seen and heard and valued.
That's awesome. That is customer service at its finest. What did it take? So I know like you have your own like I believe it's a Facebook group, like you've got a bunch of different areas where you've kind of brought the community together. How did you kind of start that process? I know a lot of brands try it. They go through like some do like Slack workspaces and things like that, but sometimes it's difficult to kind of get that snowball effect going. What was your trick to actually getting that moving?
I think the trick for us was really just being vulnerable and talking about kind of honest conversations that women were having. So for us, again, it was morning sickness and saying, I can't even move. I can't even take care of what we have today. And just being very vulnerable. And we get it. We're women. We're 80% of our staff at Pink Stork are women that have experienced, something along the way. Every
Yeah.
woman gets to experience something. And so I think just being very transparent and vulnerable, that we also understand where she's coming from and creating that connection. And other people then will invite their friends and their friends and their friends. Or if they say, oh, you're having an issue with postpartum depression, you should join this group. Like, this has really helped me. And so really kind of taking every interaction to, really appreciate just that organic community that we're building. And I also think meeting women where they are. So not everyone is on Facebook or Instagram. Usually they have like a preference. And so really
Yeah.
showing up across wherever, meeting them where they are, no matter what platform that they're on. So it is kind of a little bit of a challenge because everyone has their own preferences where they like
Yeah.
to have those communications. But we do our best to kind of meet them no matter where they are.
Yeah, that was great segue because I was going to ask you something very similar to that because I saw on your site you've got certain products that you label as like they went viral on TikTok so people can easily find them. So are you basically positioning across all social media channels, and are you trying to kind of do you find that you have to kind of adjust the messaging a little bit depending on which platform you're on?
100%. Yes, because I think on just to be authentic on TikTok, it looks really different than to be authentic on Facebook. So
Yeah.
you have to think of what they're seeing, what they're viewing, and making sure that it comes across authentic. So if you just take like the same messaging and blanket it across all of your platforms, it might resonate on one, but it's definitely not going to hit to the best of its ability on
Yeah.
all of them. So you have to make tweaks.
Where else are you selling besides your website?
Oh, we sell in Target, we sell in Walmart, we sell on Amazon. We're in 25 different countries. We just launched last week in the UAE, so
Wow.
excited to just kind of continue to expand to reach women all around the world.
Nice.
Mhm.
You had something on your website that really caught my eye that I don't see a lot of brands do, and I was so excited to see this.
Oh no.
And this is more on it's kind of more on the marketing side. I really wanted to get your opinion. So on your website, at least under the products I saw, you had an option for people to just go straight to Amazon and purchase
Mhm.
from there. So I love that. I'm a huge, huge fan of omni-channel marketing approaches and just letting people shop wherever they're most comfortable. However, I know there's issues with, how well it tracks and, even if you use
Right.
attribution, like it's not perfect. So how do you how do you look at that? How do you track the success of that? Because I know you're doing, as we already talked about, you're doing a lot of marketing driving traffic to your website that could theoretically be leaving and going to Amazon. So
Mhm.
how are you tracking all that so that how well your D2C efforts are affecting your Amazon business?
Yeah, the sales team gets really mad at that because
Yeah, I bet.
it's not as clear as an acquisition cost as they want it to be, but I think again, it's about our testament to being able to meet women where they are,
Hmm.
and I mean, I kind of use my experience along. I'm a mom of six. I got a special needs child. There's a lot of things I'm doing in my day. I want to be able to shop on Amazon. I want to be able to hold my face up to the phone and make a purchase and get what I need to go on and move throughout my day. And so it really comes like you got to put the customer first. And then we have to do the best that we can on our teams to make those assumptions and kind of look at the data and see where the traffic is coming from. So it's
Yeah.
not as clean when they are purchasing on
Yeah.
Amazon for sure, because Amazon owns that data. If you're on our website,
Hmm.
we as a brand get to own that data. So when we're pushing them to another platform, we lose a little bit of data that can make it challenging. So we have to kind of make some assumptions there with best guesses and gathering as much data as we can to
Yeah.
understand the funnel.
Is your e-commerce business experiencing falling revenue? BlueTuskr has helped many brands like yours excel. Unlike other marketing partners, BlueTuskr leverages a team of specialists to ensure every strategy is created and executed toward your business growth. As an extension of your marketing team, BlueTuskr prides itself on helping to fill in the gaps and develop strong omni-channel strategies to diversify your business from the rest. Ready to scale your marketing initiatives? Visit their website, BlueTuskr.com. That's BlueTuskr.com.
Have you thought about doing that for other marketplaces and having the website turn into like almost like a catalog showcase of all the different places people can shop?
Right. Yeah, that's a good question. We're always kind of testing it to see, now you have TikTok Shop, Instagram played
Yeah.
with Shop for a while. We also are, as a brand, just in the wellness supplement space, have different restrictions. So, on TikTok, we can't sell our full portfolio. So we
Hmm.
have to kind of think through what are the restrictions that we as a brand have to encounter to be able to sell on those platforms. But ultimately, the website is the home of the brand. So we should be showcasing everything and letting the consumer know where she can find all these products to purchase.
Yeah. What was your background before all this? Did you have any background in like
No,
supplements or anything like that?
no, not at all. Oh,
Nothing?
so not in supplements. I mean, I've always been into wellness.
Hmm.
Not like I wouldn't call myself like, oh, I wasn't like I'd go out and eat a cheeseburger and everything. Like I wasn't like very strict, but I've always enjoyed wellness. I was a college athlete, so I was always paying attention to my body and making sure I was fueling it right. But it really wasn't till my pregnancy is where my whole world got rocked, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What? My body is not performing. It's acting up. Why isn't it doing what I know it needs to do?"
Yeah.
So it wasn't to that, but I did just get my health certification. So I've really been trying to just continue to grow and learn. And I think, continuing to be the best that I can be and learn, stay open minded to business, to health, to wellness, to all the things I need to do to be able to continue to lead the company.
Yeah. Did you, as you got things started, I find, at least in my opinion, a lot of especially e-commerce brands, they can do a really good job as kind of a one person show and like a few contractors, VAs, stuff like that, and then they kind of get stuck and delegating becomes an issue. At what point did you start involving like, kind of either like an operational role or a CMO role? Like at what point did you start bringing in more of a elevating the executive team, I guess?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I've always been a huge fan of delegating. I pretty early on, I was on a military base when I started this. So I was
Oh yeah.
hiring women that were, spouses around the country to be able to help. I knew I couldn't do it all. I don't know why, but that was just very natural for me to be able to hire people and think of, I need to be doing this. Who can I have to do this? I think prioritizing and time management are probably one of my biggest assets and
Mm-hmm.
comes really strong for me. So I started honestly within a few months of things taking off. Also, we launched into Target nationwide about a year into the company. And this was a year into starting the company. And this was still kind of like, is it going to take off? Is it not?
Yeah.
And then when you go from like, I'm not really sure, to now you're in Target nationwide, like you need people quickly to get in there and do what you've got to do.
Yeah. Are you still heavily involved in the military spouses like
I just
community?
did a podcast with them yesterday. I feel like
Oh, really?
yeah, I did. It was a lot of fun. We do, what is it called? Baby Operation Baby. We partner with them. So we partner with a lot of give back organizations. And so we send tons of products to all the military bases and spouses around the world, just to help support them and give them some free products during, I know they've got a lot going on in their lives. So
Yeah.
I love
I have
it.
a really good friend of mine from high school who started a business, and her husband's in the service, and she started a business really focused around spouses in the military, and it's all supporting them and stuff. And like the amount of the way that community comes together is just amazing to watch. Like it's so cool. So it makes a lot of sense that obviously you're involved in that. I love that. The pivot, I know it's my fault. I always talk about marketing stuff. The pivoting a little bit to the operational side, tariffs, did they become a problem for you? It's always a hot topic right now.
Right. No, we haven't seen too much of an impact, to be honest. Our manufacturers, we've kept in close contact with them, and for the most part, everything's kind of stayed the same.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit here and there, but not, I think, like we were preparing when, initially tariffs were coming to light. So we'll see what happens down the road, though.
Yeah. Do you are you using a 3PL, or do you have your own warehouse? What's
We
what's
do it
that
all
looking like?
in-house. Yeah, again, it's kind of that like
Wow.
control freak mentality of we want to
Yeah.
make sure that the customer is getting the best care that they possibly can. And so for us, we package everything in-house. It comes straight from our warehouses.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, if you can do it, that's the way to do it, because then you can, to your point of all the extra stuff that you do for your customers, that's the easiest way to actually be able to facilitate a lot of that stuff. So, all right, so you're selling your site, you're on Amazon, you're in a bunch of different places, you're in the UAE now, which is awesome. What's the thought going forward? You're at 170 products. Like, where are you thinking about taking the company?
Yeah, so I definitely want to continue to launch internationally. I think we've shown there's a lot of opportunity out there to be able to reach women all around the world, and so that is still the goal. We'll continuing to launch new SKUs. I'm not interested in selling. I'm not trying to exit. Like this is kind of my not. It's not even a baby, but this is my, I guess, vehicle to make an impact in the world, and I really want to be very closely a part of it. Just continuing to support women all around the world however we can. We are going to be working on building out like a practitioners network, which has a team of doctors and experts where people can get support that way. So I think thinking through other vehicles besides just products and service and support,
Mm-hmm.
how else can we help women, is where we're really trying to think and expand to over the next 3 to 5 years.
Again, a perfect segue. I could tell you've done podcast locks. I was going to ask you did something with, I think it's a Fight Back Award, correct?
Yes, our Fight Back Award. Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so this is a really cool story. Her name was Emma, or her name is Emma Marine, and she was basically like robbed and someone tried to kidnap her while she was at work. And
Jeez.
it got like national recognition. Like she's this tiny little girl, like 4'11", and she fought off this guy who I think had been wanted in like a few states as well. He definitely had a history. But hold on one second, sorry. But so we just wanted to recognize her. I saw a clip from her. I think it was on like CBS or it was some on news channel. And she was talking about how she wants to encourage women just to dig down deep and fight. And so I loved her scrappy, just, fight mentality. And I feel like I don't know, I just really resonated with sometimes you just have to like fight to be able to get to where you're going, and life can be hard sometimes. And so decided to come up with this Fight Back award to kind of honor her and give her a little recognition, and a little bit of money too, just to be able to, I'm sure she, to do with it what she wants, but just kind of, I'm sure that was a traumatic experience for her.
Yeah.
So just again, encouraging women looking for opportunities for the brand to be able to highlight women who are doing amazing things, no matter what those things are.
That's awesome. So was that an award that you gave to her as like a one-time thing, or is that something that you're planning on doing on a consistent basis?
No. I want to do it consistently, wherever we kind of see that mindset, in bringing it. She was just kind of that. She was, I guess, the first person that started it. So
That's awesome.
definitely on an annual basis.
Yeah. I love the, a lot of the, I guess I would say like outside of the box thinking for the most part, especially from, I'm going to cater to all the marketing stuff. That's what I do. But like, it's just, you get the standard stuff of like, oh, we ran ads, we did this, we did that, and like blah, blah. But when you start to really think about other ways that you can not only help out your customers, but bring in more awareness to the business, is just, I love all that stuff. It's so cool.
Yes,
What's, the women's wellness space is wildly interesting. It's not really touched by a lot of brands, but then there are brands that strictly cater to it. So you do have some competition out there. What's kind of your approach to differentiating Pink Stork versus everyone else?
I mean, I think just being authentic to who we are, like you said, like looking for those opportunities to do things differently. A lot of our competition is backed by, VC money. They've got investors that are telling them how to do things. It's just, in my opinion, it's added pressure to the business that pulls away from, I don't know, what their goals are, but our goals are be able to, support women and help women. And when you have that added pressure of, investors or whatever, I think that could really dilute the mission of what you're trying to do. So this way we can think outside of the box. We can make pivots really quick and be authentic in a way that, matters to what we think our customers will care about.
Makes sense. Amy, appreciate you having the show. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're super busy. I would love to give you the floor. Tell everyone where they can find out more about you and, of course, more about Pink Stork.
Yes, of course. So you're looking for some wellness supplements for all the female listeners out there. You can check us out on Amazon, on our website, pinkstork.com, Target, Walmart. We do international shipping on our website as well. You can follow us on social, all the major social channels. You can check my socials out as well. I'm very active on that, on Instagram and TikTok. So would love for you to be a part, and obviously would love for Pink Stork to be a part of your wellness journey.
Beautiful. Amy, thank you so much for being on the show. Everyone who tuned in, of course, thank you as well. Please make sure you do the usual thing, rate, review, subscribe, all that fun stuff on whichever podcast platform you prefer, or head over to the E-Comm Show to check out all of our previous episodes. But as usual, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you all next time. Have a good one.
Thank you for tuning in to the E-Comm Show. Head over to ecommshow.com to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform or on the BlueTuskr YouTube channel. The E-Comm Show is brought to you by BlueTuskr, a full-service digital marketing company specifically for e-commerce sellers looking to accelerate their growth. Go to BlueTuskr.com now for more information. Make sure to tune in next week for another amazing episode of The E-Comm Show.